Good morning, class 6A. I'm Mrs. Jessy, one of your science teachers. Okay, already you know that Miss Devjani and myself are there for your science subject. We have begun the topic sorting of the materials. As you can see here, sorting materials into groups. You know the meaning. Already the chapter was introduced by Miss Devjani. So sorting means separation or separating the materials. How do we separate the materials? On the basis of their qualities. So since you have begun the chapter, today I will introduce some of the properties of the materials on the basis of which they are classified. So here, sorting materials into groups, that's your chapter 4. I will start from the various properties which are not discussed till now. First is solubility. It is the property of many materials to dissolve in water. You know, the materials that dissolve in water are called soluble substances. Example, sugar, salt, oxygen, lemon juice, etc. But all substances do not dissolve in water. The substances that do not dissolve in water are called insoluble substances. Example, sand, plastic, chalk powder, etc. Now, suppose I am adding sugar. Here is sugar with me. This sugar is actually what? It is a solute. When I put that in water, and you stir with a spoon, you can see in minutes time that sugar will dissolve in water. So sugar is solute, and what I am making is sugar solution, and water is the solvent. Actually, water is known as a universal solvent because it can dissolve maximum number of solute in that. So how will you define a solute? Let us try to define a solute. A solute is a soluble substance. Okay, anything that is soluble is known as solute. How can we make? We can make solutions by mixing solute in a solvent. So what is a solvent? Water. In the given case which I showed you, the solute is sugar. Now you have an activity on page number 51. The activity is to test the solubility of certain substances. You know, here is sugar which is soluble. What will happen if you add salt in water? Salt is also soluble in water. Okay, so sugar is soluble, salt is soluble. Now what about lemon juice? Take water, take a lemon and squeeze it. Now you know it will mix very well in the water. So all these are soluble substances. So what I made now? Sugar solution I made, salt solution I made, and this is lemon water. Okay, so this is all soluble. What about sand? If I take some sand and put it in the glass, pour some water. If you stir with the spoon also, that sand will remain there because sand is insoluble. So substances that do not dissolve are called insoluble substances. Let us go to the next property of materials, that is their ability to float on the surface of water, ability to sink. You know, some materials or substances are very light in weight, so they are able to float on the surface of water. As you can see now here, put a leaf on the surface of the water. You can see it is not sinking, it is not going down. What is the reason? The leaf is lighter than the water, so it is floating. Okay, so that is the property of the substances to float on the surface of water. Now take a leaf, take a paper piece, put it on the water. Put it on the water. First, it will float. But as it soaks water, it goes down. Maybe it will go slowly down because it is becoming heavier. In this case, it is absorbing water, becoming heavier. So gradually, slowly it may. And what about, once again, I will take a solid that is heavier. The sugar. It is heavier than water, so it is straight away going down. So that is sinking. What's the meaning sinking? Going down into the water. So there are two types of materials. Those who are light in weight, they will float, and those who are heavier than the water, they will sink into the water. So that is another problem. Okay, now let us see. Okay children, in today's class, let us see the next property, that is behavior towards light. That means how do different materials behave in presence of light. On the basis of this behavior, materials can be classified into three groups. The first group is transparent objects. What are transparent objects? Objects which pass light completely through it. They pass light completely through it. For example, this kind of glass. Glass is completely transparent. The air around us is transparent, and that's why we can see the objects and we can see each other, is because air is transparent. And then water, through water also rays of the light pass. So all these are examples for transparent objects. Next is translucent object. Translucent object, objects which pass light partially through it. Examples: ground glass, butter paper, X-ray film. Ground glass. What is a ground glass? A glass, you can see this kind of a glass through which light can pass only partially, not completely. That means the glass on which some designs are given, some colors are given. This kind of glass is used in the windows of bathrooms and toilets and all, so that light will pass but not fully. So, and also visibility will not be there, because for complete visibility light should pass. So this kind of ground glasses will pass light only partially. So that's a translucent object. Then butter paper. What is butter paper? Oil paper. We can also make butter paper or oil paper at home. Apply some oil on a paper. So you can see it becomes translucent. Then X-ray film. You can see here X-ray film. If you look through it, not everything is visible. But you can see the light is passing partially. Okay, and then the next is opaque objects. That's the third variety. Opaque objects means objects which do not pass light at all. They block the light completely. Example: rubber, wood, stone, etc. Here, for example, if you speak about this container here, this is opaque. This coconut shell, this is opaque. Rubber. This metal plate, it's opaque. So many things are opaque. Many objects here. This pen stand which is here is opaque. Okay. So let me ask you a question now, children. I brought here oil for you. What will happen if you pour oil into this water? Will it dissolve? What's your answer? If you do at home, you can see the oil makes a separate layer on the top, because oil is lighter than water. So oil makes a separate film on the top of the water. They don't mix, the oil doesn't dissolve. So you can say they are immiscible. Those topics in the next classes. Now you have an activity to do at home. The activity is I give you two assignments, children. Both are very enjoyable and interesting. One is activity 4, the solubility of different substances. As I showed you now, you can experiment at home once. It will create your interest also in science. And plus activity 5, which is on page number 51 of your science book, which is about to see the floating or the sinking property of various materials. Do this both in activities, and plus there are oral questions for you on page number 51 or 52, so that oral questions you can start solving. Okay, any doubt you have, you contact me in my WhatsApp number. I hope you understand and complete all the notes in your copy. Okay, good wishes.